hold on.
All right.
There you are.
Yeah, it looks like my internet slowed down a little bit.
Oh, no problem. I was just crossing off the list. The Ratchet and Clank trailer came out.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, so Stallone's in that.
Oh, cool. You know what? Thanks for that, because I'll add it to our agenda for the intro for the next Slycast.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank. I watched the trailer, but I couldn't make Stallone out of it.
Oh, yeah?
And there was a really cool... I did a Tremors marathon the other day. I watched all the Tremors movies and the TV show, like all in one shot.
Yeah.
And they have some awesome... In the new Tremors, they have some awesome Rambo references in there.
Oh, that's cool.
Where they refer to Burt Gummer as, like, the next Rambo. Another thing, when I was researching too, and I messed up on the Vin and Tay in Rambo 2.
Mm-hmm.
I messed up on that. I kept on thinking, for some reason, it's my own fault with IMDb. I must have messed up, but all of this time I kept on thinking that Tay was the other guy. You know, the guy who finds the chicken who gets burned up in the... But it's actually the other guy who Rambo shoots with the arrow. And I remember I was constantly going over that in my head when I was reading the book, because they have the same kind of scene, except Rambo has a detonator on the arrow.
Okay.
So he blows up, and I was like, okay, it must be that guy. And then just recently, I was looking over the names on IMDb.
Yeah.
And I think they both had the same name or something.
Uh-huh.
And then later on I typed it in, and yeah, that was a mix-up, so I have to fix that on my show.
Oh, wow.
Because I was talking to Steven, I'm like, did you know that they use your character in the second one? And he's like, they're not allowed to do that without telling me. I'm like, yeah, you're the older guy. And now, bang, it appears to me he's the younger guy, so I think he'll be more offended.
Yeah.
he's the guy who gets taken out with the arrow.
Yeah.
And it made me kind of sad, because, like, when I was talking to Morel, he was like saying what a wasted opportunity it was to send Rambo back to that same place and not expand on what happened in First Blood.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, oh, you can tell now that I watched it again the other day. I was up at like 7 o'clock in the morning watching Rambo 2 to work on the script. And I started noticing stuff like the stairs between them and stuff. And I was so naive all these years, it never clicked. But, you know, there it is.
Yeah.
There's definitely a history between them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, but that's the other thing, like, you can get back to the weight that's created through time.
Yeah.
You know, and if maybe there had been 10 years between First Blood and Rambo First Blood Part 2, some of those storytelling beats might have been more obvious, or, Stallone's journey he might have matured enough to make some of those connections. It's interesting. It's interesting, but it's also really, really neat to see, David Morrell's opinion of a missed opportunity.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's really true. If you play that new Rambo, the video game, it looks more like... Steven's character looks more like the brush fire guy.
Yeah.
Than is... Completely took me, like, silent me.
Yeah.
And the tray cases came in yesterday for the First Blood reissue.
Oh, cool.
So hopefully I get that soon. Because it's been like a year I've been waiting for that thing.
Yeah. I remember they started taking pre-orders, in like January?
Yeah. So I think the other versions of it came out, but this one's only just coming out now. So
worth the wait, I'm sure.
Yeah. And did you end up picking up Hunter?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I have a couple other books I'm reading in prep for another podcast, but I've been seeing your updates about that, and there sounds like there's some really, really cool sequences in that book that would have been badass.
Yeah, the bear autopsy is like, whole.
Yeah.
He gets in there like he's like cutting it open and like.
Yeah.
It was eerie too because I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting like they corner the beast or something and they try to take it out. But it really plays more like Teasel and his men walking through the woods looking for Rambo, but Rambo's in Teasel's spot.
Yeah.
And it's really creepy. Like the monster jumps out at them and then takes off. It reminds me of like when Rambo jumps in front of the deputy and then they shoot the deputy.
Yeah. What happened there though? Because it seemed to me like there was such momentum coming off of Rambo that, and I even remember Stallone on Ain't It Cool News talking about the Hunter version of Rambo that he wanted to do for the fifth film, and then he obviously went through all the trouble of securing the rights to that book and everything. I mean, what happened there? What cooled it off?
I think it was the sci-fi. I honestly think it was the sci-fi. I think maybe Sly thought that people wouldn't have taken it seriously, even though that kind of stuff is going on, technically. Yeah. But I think, he just maybe would have thought differently because of how other people would have taken it. They wouldn't have taken it as seriously. Mind you, killing 200 people by yourself in Afghanistan, the same thing. But it was weird. The same guy I was talking about earlier, Brian, he found an interview or a piece on Sean Hood, who was writing Rambo 5. And Sean Hood was saying that, and I'm pretty sure I read this before, I'm pretty sure it's like a reprinted interview.
Okay.
But he was saying that Sly gave him a book and gave him a treatment a long time ago and told him to write the script. It wouldn't surprise me if Sly pulled a move on us, fronting the whole Mexico thing for something else. And I could only dream in my heart that it would be Savage Hunt, but it kind of sounds like that's what he handed him, I don't know how that would fit in with the alcoholic abusive father elements or those other elements that they want to do. They could probably just throw it in there, but it's when you read it, it's not a far stretch to imagine it's Rambo because the character is Rambo, but he has a different backstory.
Yeah,
a slightly different backstory. But mostly everything else is there.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I don't even know how far. I mean, I know this time last year, we actually were reporting that they had started filming.
Yeah.
And then by the time the episode went up, it was clear that they hadn't started filming. No. But to me, I'm so far out of the loop with where we stand with the fifth Rambo movie, and I think it was because the fatigue from last year being what's going on? They actually had locations in Louisiana. It seemed like they were crewed up and everything. Yeah,
they had billboard on New Image site of Rambo 3 saying this is what's happening now, and they had map coordinates, and they had they sent out things for crew to join the movie, for cast to join the movie, for everything. It seemed like it was going to roll.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is last second Sly just said, okay, well, the Taken element, as I like to call it, is a little too overdone now. Taken, but
yeah. I don't know, and I think we talked about this maybe the last time we talked, or maybe even when we met up down the Jersey Shore over the summer. But for me, I think it would have been so great for Rambo to come back to Arizona, and then he gets, he runs or crosses or has some kind of interaction with a militia.
Yeah.
And then it's Rambo versus a militia, which to me is right now that's really topical.
Yeah.
Because of all the gun control discussion we're having in this country. And then also it could also almost sort of have a throwback feel to First Blood because it's Rambo against an organized group.
Yeah, they had a right before the 9/11 stuff, before Robert Rodriguez got involved with Rambo, they had a an outline where Rambo would go work undercover as a mole in a militia group that was carrying WMDs. And Teasel somehow got mixed up with that militia, and Teasel finds Rambo out, busts Rambo, and then either they can kill each other and, the militia's caught in the crossfire, or they can team up and take down the militia. And I thought that would have been fantastic.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I definitely think there's for me that's an interesting concept, especially because I don't think that I think the militia aspect hasn't really been explored in cinema that much either.
Yeah.
I'd also think it would be really, really cool. It wouldn't be any kind of a competition, but like Rambo versus a motorcycle gang.
I would definitely be down for that. Can you see Rambo on a motorcycle? That'd be crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. There was a Stone Cold movie called Recoil. That is a really cool movie. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. On one of my first podcasts ever, Camel Clutch Cinema, we actually had to sit down with the screenwriter.
Oh, sweet.
Really cool dude, Johnny Sullivan. But Recoil is this really cool original take on a revenge film. And it's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, man.
Doing some really, really good acting. I think Recoil is one of his better movies. And it's basically Stone Cold versus a motorcycle gang.
That's fantastic.
Really cool. If you have a chance.
Cornell was telling me about that movie too. Last time I saw him, he was talking about all these different Stone Cold movies, and he brought that up.
Yeah, it's really well written. Like for me, it was one of those things where it's like when you hear about or you see that a movie's going to be a revenge movie, you're like, oh, it's going to hit every same movie, every revenge movie hits. But like for me, I was like, wow, Recoil sort of took it took a unique, or an original look at it. Like it sort of worked beyond what other revenge movies had done already. Really cool. I think it's an underappreciated movie, just because a lot of people haven't seen it.
Man, I should go check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rambo versus motorcycle gang, man. You could see him when the guy's riding down the hog, Rambo sticks his knife in the wheel, bam!
Yeah.
The guy takes off.
I mean, before you have Rambo go to Mexico, like for me, there's just so many ideas you can spitball and say, run with this instead.
They should really bring him back to America. Have it on America. I would love to see that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what the last one sets up. It's like, why would you not build upon that ending? And it's like that first movie, and especially the book, is sort of like what happens when the Vietnam War comes to America.
That's it. That's exactly it.
Like, again, it's coming not to take a Troutman line, but it's coming full circle with First Blood, where it's like, all right, Rambo's back on American soil for the first time.
Well, that would be amazing.
30 plus years.
That would be amazing. 33. Can you believe it's 33 years? Tomorrow night, 33 years.
Oh, really? Is tomorrow night the anniversary of?
Yeah, on the October 22nd.
Oh, wow.
33 years.